The second biggest WWE pay-per-view of the year has all wrapped up, and there was a lot that went down last night. So instead of running down the whole pay-per-view, we're just gonna give you the good bits. So in this video we look at 10 shocking things that happened at SummerSlam 2018. Number 10. All 3 matches on the kickoff ended with a roll-up. Despite SummerSlam going off to a great start on the main show with Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler keeping up their tradition of topping each match they have, unfortunately, the same couldn't be said about the pre-show. We're not saying that the matches themselves were bad, especially when Cedric Alexander tore it down with Drew Gulak. What we're saying, however, is that it was highly disappointing when the creative team decided to book each match on the pre-show in the same way. The initial match saw the mixed tag team match of Rusev and Lana vs Andrade Almas and Zelina Vega, in which the mediocre match ended when Vega quickly caught Lana off guard, grabbing the first of many roll-up victories. The second match, which was the 205 Live Championship match, had a slow start, but after that passed, we saw the match evolve into the fast-paced 205 matches that we recently learned to love. But this abruptly ended when Gulak went up for a roll-up, which was quickly countered by Cedric rolling up Drew when he ultimately scored the victory. At this point, there was suspicion that a pattern was evolving. The last match of the kickoff show saw the third roll-up when Curtis Axel scored the victory for the B team against the poorly booked team of the Revival. The unimaginative booking of the pre-show didn't bring SummerSlam off to a great start, and it's clear that the creative team didn't put any care or effort into this section of the show. Number 9. The Bella Twins return. In a backstage segment as the next match was being prepared, we saw both Nikki and Brie Bella return. Well, sort of. When asked if they will return at the first ever all-women's pay-per-view, they seemed to ignore the question, as they responded by stating that they were excited to see Ronda Rousey beat Alexa Bliss, and that they will be sitting ringside for it. At this point, speculation and rumours began that they would interfere in the match, possibly setting up a feud between Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey. Unfortunately, all women embraced with a hug at the end, including Natalya. But with the Evolution pay-per-view rapidly approaching, who knows what will happen in the next coming weeks. Number 8. Braun Strowman buries Kevin Owens in 3 minutes. One of the most exciting and hyped matches going into SummerSlam was the match between Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens, with the winner taking home the Money in the Bank briefcase for a chance to win the Universal Championship. With a heated rivalry building up to this, many were excited with the possibility that SummerSlam could end up with the first ever 2-time Universal Champion. However, this possibility and thought quickly ended as the heated rivalry abruptly came to a halt. How did this happen? The long-awaited match could almost fit into a GIF, as this competitive match was rapidly transforming into nothing more than a classic Braun Strowman squash match. Owens could barely get a single move in, as Braun's power was massively exposed, with Strowman attacking Owens on the outside of the ring, including a shoulder tackle into the barrier after Owen attempted to escape. When they eventually made it into the ring, Braun would hit his destructive power slam and ultimately grab the victory in around 3 minutes. Perhaps the reason for this burial of the second Universal Champion could be the result of backstage heat, but at this time, we just don't know. Number 7. Becky Lynch turns heel. Another great addition to this year's match card was the inclusion of a triple threat match between Carmella, Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch. Despite the absence of Asuka, this match still lived up to the expectations, as Carmella attempted to retain her SmackDown Women's Championship against all odds. However, without the aid of James Ellsworth by her side, she was unable to achieve her goal, as Charlotte Flair would grab the victory, allowing her to tie with Trish Stratus for the most Women's Championship wins. After this match, Flair and Lynch would show sportsmanship, embracing in a hug. However, what was followed was unexpected, as Lynch would ultimately turn heel and attack Charlotte with a big hook to the face. Despite her turning heel, not a single boo could be heard from the crowd in the Barclays Center, with them backing Lynch throughout the match. We'll just have to wait for WWE to fix this by editing in the boos. Number 6. A bloodied AJ Styles goes nuts. In one of the most competitive matches, reigning WWE Champion AJ Styles took on Samoa Joe in truly, and we're sorry for the pun, a phenomenal match. Before this match, Samoa Joe cut yet another promo on AJ, involving his family and mainly his wife. The match featured some great spots, and midway through it, Joe would continue his disrespect, including a statement that he can be the new daddy of AJ's family. After the insult, an extremely aggravated and bloody Styles unleashed his anger on Joe, spearing him through the barrier and attacking him with a chair, grabbing the DQ loss. Of course, due to the rules, a disqualification does not change the holder of the championship, thus AJ remains champion. The two are rumoured to face off again at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, so it's possible that championships may change hand later on. Number 5. The Miz cheats to win. Another highly anticipated match for this year's card was Daniel Bryan vs The Miz, which we're sure you're aware, due to WWE's persistence to advertise this match, was 8 years in the making. The match went on for a lot longer than others, and was for the most part entertaining to watch. Even though The Miz put up a good fight, he had to turn to dirty tactics to win, as after being given brass knuckles from his wife Maurice at ringside, Miz would use it and knock Bryan out cold, allowing Miz to grab the victory. Even though The Miz is one up, this feud isn't even close to finishing. Number 4. The Demon King returns. Despite no mention, vignettes or even rumours of this, Finn entered SummerSlam as the Demon King, returning the look that would make him the first Universal Champion 2 years ago. As a result, the match identified as the toilet break match would ultimately grab everyone's attention at the Barclays Center, which ultimately led to "This is awesome" chants. As Balor entered second, it was obvious that Constable Corbin did not expect this, giving Balor the full advantage. The return of the gimmick seemed to give Balor double stats, and this will lead to another squash match of the night. Number 3. Ronda Rousey is the new Raw Women's Champion. Going into the match, we knew that Alexa's chance of a clean victory was low, but this match was nothing more than another squash match. In fact, with the exception of her failed headlock, Bliss was unable to perform a single move on Rousey, as Rousey got the easiest victory of her career. As well as this, the speculation of the Bella Twins getting involved and on Natalya turning on Ronda turned out to be nothing, leading this match to be another milestone in Rousey's career. Perhaps the main reason for putting the belt on Bliss was because she's double jointed. This might have allowed Rousey's armbar to look extremely lethal. But there was no double jointed shenanigans in this match, and you can be sure this is one of many championships that are going to be held by Ronda Rousey. Number 2. Braun Strowman almost cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase. Before the main event of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns could begin, Braun Strowman made an appearance, stating that he's not a coward and will not cash in his briefcase when his opponent's back is turned, and promising after the match that he'll be cashing in his briefcase and making it known that both Brock or Roman will not leave as the Universal Champion. However, Braun only announced that he may cash in the championship later on, leaving a massive question mark on whether Braun would leave SummerSlam as Universal Champion. But unfortunately, this doesn't happen. Number 1. Roman Reigns leaves SummerSlam as Universal Champion. During his match with Brock Lesnar, it seems that Roman Reigns had inputted a few cheats and had infinite finishes mode on, as the match began with Roman delivering 3 Superman punches and 3 spears to Lesnar. But during Reigns' third spear, Lesnar managed to reverse this into a guillotine, slowing the match down instantly and quickly changing the pace, giving Brock the advantage. As this continued, Brock removed his gloves, making it evident that he would do anything to increase his chances of getting the victory. Following with a few suplexes, Lesnar was soon distracted, as during the match he tried to do everything he could to prevent Strowman from cashing in after the match. This even included an F5 outside the ring, and launching his briefcase to the top of the stage, preventing him from cashing it in once the match had finished. Due to Lesnar, Braun's promise to cash in his briefcase following the match was broken. However, his attention on Braun Strowman would ultimately cost him the match, as he would be greeted by an unexpected spear, gaining Roman the victory, and hopefully ending the feud between the two. Braun's inability to cash in would see Reigns walk out of SummerSlam as the new Universal Champion. Despite your opinions on Roman Reigns becoming champion, we can all agree that this was an action-packed main event and a decent SummerSlam overall. What did you guys think of SummerSlam? Let us know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.